Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to Ali Kamenova Yoga. I'm Ali, and today we're doing a yoga workout for the eclipse season, for an eclipse. We are in between two eclipses, of course. We're in the eclipse season, and we're preparing for the big partial solar eclipse on March 29th in Aries and in 9 degrees of Aries, if you care. And the crazy thing, this is extra big, because the crazy thing is that Neptune enters into Aries, in Aries, on March 30th. That is quite the big event. We're gonna get a preview of the energy that Neptune will have in Aries in the next 14 years. Neptune will spend a little bit of time on Aries, retrograde into Pisces for a little bit, and go full into Aries in 2026. So we're gonna feel that energy, taste it. It's big because it's a new 165-year cycle. Neptune in Aries, I have been obsessively studying Neptune the last few weeks, and it's just a big, huge topic. Neptune is one of the hardest planets to feel and study. It is very subconscious. It rules the collective unconscious, and in Aries it's very righteous, very motivated to move forward. So now the eclipse is also dominated by that energy of movement forward. This eclipse is very powerful, especially if it personally affects you. Not everybody is always personally affected by every eclipse. Some people feel it weekly, and some people really have the capacity to hone in the energy and feel the beginning. Now, the expression of that beginning is not exactly on the date. You can feel it in the process of the next months, but you're laying that foundation within the layers of your psyche. It's really good to feel beginnings strongly, or to be in tune with the energy of beginnings, because it helps you navigate, helps you be awake and conscious in the process. Now in Aries, everything is very forward momentum. If it falls in any of your cardinal houses, if it conjuncts any of your more important planets, you're gonna be able to really project that as a new beginning in certain area of your life. Having the motivation to move forward, to take action, to begin something, to also stand up in some way for righteousness. Now we have to be really careful, really careful. With Neptune's energy, Neptune is often illusory. It can rule delusions, illusions, lies, etc. in its lower octave. And society as a whole tends to express lower octaves easier, of course, than higher octaves. I feel that our critical mass that we hopefully are reaching of awakened humans will express the higher octave strongly enough to where it won't matter that the lower octave is expressed by the masses as a whole. The higher octave will be manifesting in a poetic way from the unseen, becoming a little more telepathic, expressing a little more of the dreamy nature, of the higher dreamy poetic nature of Neptune. Neptune is the ocean of consciousness or unconsciousness. It rules the waters. Waters are, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Veda Austin maybe said it, that it's the spirit of God, to where if you take air or ether as the soul of God. If you take air to be more of the consciousness, the thought of the divine, water would be more the soul side, the emotionality or the soul of God. So it's an expression of the divine. Water is an element. That's why water is so profound in its intelligence, because even if you study from the perspective of the elementals of water would carry certain aspect of the divine. Neptune rules the whole span of that whole part of the energy of our collective, and even the divine psyche. So starting a new cycle is profound, especially consciously. We're starting a new cycle in Aries for the second time only. Before that, Neptune was not discovered, so even though we've gone through Neptune cycles, we were not consciously aware of it. So this is a conscious cycle on a very unconscious planet. Sorry, I'm going into Neptune a little more than I was thinking to do, and I've been studying it so much because Neptune started a lot of huge things in humanity in its last cycle, which was in 1861. As you know, the Civil War, there was lies connected to the start of it, so we have to be careful about acting on impulse and not fully moving from the heart. But I feel this time we have a chance to revisit things and do them from a place of groundedness, connection. Now, because Neptune, I feel, was in part responsible for the last 14 years of social media becoming so dominant in our psyche, I feel we're moving out of that, the illusory nature of connection, into more action-oriented nature of the human experience. Social media created a lot of illusion about what life is, right? We really connected to life in a very particular way via social media. So now I feel that there is some sort of a new beginning here. There is going to be some new change that we're going to see in the course of the next 14 years, but probably in the beginning. We're going to have a taste of it. And with every planet we're going to experience, I think this eclipse really speaks to the Neptune entering Aries as well, so that's why I'm talking about both, although the eclipse is the eclipse. The eclipse in Aries is going to give you the opportunity on a personal level to start something new. I was thinking to shoot a class about yoga for perimenopause, menopause, which is transition, yoga for transitions, times of transitions, and it perfectly fits in this theme, but I'm going to do it in a separate video. Maybe series of videos, but this is understand you're in a transitional period and you have the transitions allow you to create your life anew, to start anew, to not be stuck in the previous rut you've been in, even if it doesn't feel like you're right now creating a new life or mapping out a new direction, a new experience for yourself, a new reality. And Neptune rules reality, how we experience reality, perception of reality. In a way, reality as a solid reality is Saturn. They're going to be conjunct as well in 0 degree of Aries. I want to say that is in 2026, maybe earlier before that, I forget right now. But them coming together is going to be also a powerful event, but that's later on. And again, a lot of Aries energy, a lot of new beginnings. Other things that happened during Neptune entering Aries was the germ theory book was written that started allopathy as a medicine. It didn't start immediately. I mean, that was the spiritual beginning of it. By spiritual, I mean it was mapped out as an energy. And from there on, it took years for a lot of the dismantling of other practices, herbal healing, homeopathy, and other things, more holistic practices were dismantled slowly over time in order to push that model of medicine that focuses strictly on one germ, one disease. No fault of the patient. If anybody falls sick, there's never a fault in the lifestyle of the patient, the psyche, the emotions, etc. It's only the germ. So I've studied that in depth. It's very, very trippy to study how this all came about in the Pasteur versus Bichon book and some other sources. Anyways, it was written in 1861, the same year Neptune entered into Aries. Also, I just heard from another astrologer that Charles Darwin's book was published in America in 1860, a year before Neptune entered into Aries. So again, that creates a spiritual crisis in humanity. It's an existential crisis, because humanity has to, or a society, let's not say, society is a better word, has to really evaluate where we come from. Who are we? What is the nature of the human being? If you have ever studied the works of Edgar Cayce and Rudolf Steiner, there is a whole spiritual history of humanity that is extremely interesting. We don't study that sadly in school, but that is the centralization of the educational system, the medical system, etc. We're not going to see anything but what serves a certain interest, ideas. So, I'm honing in on only teaching yoga for the awakening being. So I don't want to serve the common narrative. I don't want to fall into the common narrative, because I personally don't feel it, and it's kind of dishonest to stay neutral on something that I feel I have depth into. So if you've studied the work of Edgar Cayce and Steiner and all of that, we have had a long history that is very meticulously hidden. Hyperborea, Lemuria, Atlantis, they're considered like fake civilizations or something like that. But those are the spiritual and physical beginnings of humanity. Atlantis is the first civilization that was of physical nature, so we're not going to go find bones from Lemuria. They were more ephemeral. So that's why it's very interesting to not study the sources that speak about that. We have sources that speak about that, and Steiner in particular reads from the Akashic records. Cayce was reading people's past lives, and he was going consistently into certain people's lives in Atlantis. So he was able to map out a whole timeline of Atlantis from 50,000 BC to about 10,000 or so, 8,000 BC. So those were great civilization. The fall of the civilization was the misuse of technology, advanced technology. They had really advanced technology, crystals, etc. The misuse of that technology led to the end of the civilization, because it was a spiritual crisis and death. So we are going into now a parallel time, or a different timeline in which we are actually advancing technology, and it's going to lead to the same spiritual questions. What is the soul? What is a human being? How do you personally move from the heart and connect to the divine? Do you connect to the divine even? So those are the deep subjects that you're going to have to anchor into in order to navigate through what is coming. The short term of the eclipse will be in the next, let's say, 6 months, or 4 to 6 months. The long term is going to be the Neptune entering into Aries and having that very individualized energy of something that's very dissolved. Neptune is more of a dissolved, like water planet, and Aries is very individualized. So it's going to be expressed in many different ways. This is going to be very, very particular to you, how you're going to experience it. I feel we're entering a time in which the collective is going to experience one thing. Persons in their personal life are going to start to create their personal experience. That's why the long intro, because be very careful how you navigate so your experience through this doesn't fall with the chaotic movement of certain societal groups. You rise above. You connect to the divine, and you live in that connection. in that communication. I had a dream, and I was telling someone at the hot springs we go to about my dream, and the dream, kind of the way I interpreted it, was you navigate, you change the weather through the inner weather. And he chimed in, and he also added that it's also connected to, my dream was connected to dragons, because it had the word for dragon in certain native languages. I think the Australian native, he was Australian. The guy, and someone gave me a name for a dog that looked like Sophie. I've said the dream in another class. I don't want to repeat myself right now, but I feel that we're gonna tap into that fiery internal energy, and that can be very, very profound and creative, can be destructive as well. So I invite you to really, really always be in prayer, and always ask which action to take, which is the right action, which is the right even opinion, because opinions can be harmful if we attach to them from a place of delusion. To always check in and to walk in the path of your heart, the higher truth. Really important. It's going to be more and more important as we move forward. It's going to be so important, it will make the difference of, you know, your soul expanding or your soul contracting. It's really, and we're all gonna do it together. So we have to really be awake in the process, awake in the dream even. Neptune, speaking of dream, rules the dreams, the unconscious, even the unconscious coming into the subconscious. And because it's been in my 12th house, I have the awakeness lately in the astral when I sleep and dream, similar to the awakeness I have in kind of like a meditative state or awake state. It's really interesting to see how Neptune can help us navigate through the astral, through the dreamland, dream time. Anyways, those are the subjects. New beginning. Just map that out. Journal what you want to create. Journal what you want to see in humanity. Because it's not overtly negative or a positive outlook. It's wherever people make it and wherever we make it personally. And we want to contribute to the higher timeline for humanity. And I do feel that the critical mass is kind of on the verge. It's happening, so we just need a couple more people to trickle in, and it will be a critical mass of awakening and a shift. And that shift may happen parallel to actually a very destructive timeline. They will most likely both happen, and we'll both be witnessing them at first at the same time, and then slowly they will separate. Trippy concepts, but that's how the experience of reality is. Anyways, let's begin. And today, for today's class, you're gonna need 2 dumbbells of any size. Mine are 8 pounds. You can have heavier, you can have lighter, whatever. It's gonna be a little bit of cardio. Let's begin, and let's flow with love, strength, and ease. All right, starting with hopping, 2 hops per leg. You can open your arms to the side. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, leg to opposite arm. And low jumping jacks. So instead of just the regular jumping jacks, you're gonna sit back a little bit of a squat. Push your booty back. crisscross. So we're going to cross the feet. So you gotta kind of give it a little bit of a ballerina hop. All right, small lunge hops. 1, 2. Those are very small and staggered. So we're not going deep. Keep your knee back. You're still gonna feel it, not only as cardio but as leg work. Squat, hop, squat, hop. This is now going into workout mode. It's real squat. Great. All right, let's take the weights. And we're going to start with deadlifts, straight leg deadlifts. The knees are slightly bent here. You're hinging at the hips and you're tracing the weight along your shin bone. You can lock up at the top the hips, which allows them to rebalance, equalize. This eclipse is an activation, so you can consciously use it. As I'm saying that, I'm seeing the most beautiful right above me hawk. Those are the red tail hawks here. He's just checking me out. It's epic. He said he came to say hi. He did a circle right above me, checked me out and moved on, but just epic. All right. From here, we're gonna start with staggered squats, or one-legged staggered squat. It's like a narrow lunge, straight back, push the hips back. And when you come back, you're either, if you're more on the beginner side with weights, you're just going to do hammer curl. Hammer curl with your elbow steady. Otherwise, you're going to do an out curl. So curl and slightly out. Again, with control, and control the lowering motion of this move. Let's go. 1, push through the heel. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the next 5. 1, lift your knee, slowly lower down. 2, lift that knee and engage that core. 3, 4, and 5. Opposite side. 1, 2, push through that front leg. 3, 4, 5. Lift the knee. 1, 2, lift the core. 3, or connect the core. I think this is 5, but let's do one more for good measure. Onto the right foot. Step your left foot back, cross, wide back, cross, lunge. Lift your toes. And when you come up, give me a shoulder press that really connects your core. onto the tippy toes, shoulder press, onto the tippy toes, shoulder press. Let's say about 5. Opposite side. Keep the tension of your muscles, so the connection of your muscles the entire time. There's quite a bit to focus on here. It's the core, it's the tippy toes, it's the weight control. 3, 5, all right. For the next one, you can do it weightless, or you can load your weights onto your shoulders. We're going to do a back lunge, and when you come up here, you're going to lift onto your toes. It's lots of balancing. Focus. You can hold the wall if you need to. The tippy toes is just a instinct of mine. You don't have to do tippy toes here at the lunge, only here at the lift. 3. My instinct is to do tippy toes in the lunge, which sweetens it up. But here, focus on the lift. It's really powerful. This is kind of like the longevity classes, where we focus on leg strength and balance. Okay, opposite side. It exercises your feet. Let's go into straight back deadlift alignment, but we're going to just open here, back flies. 1, 2, 3, squeeze the back muscles. 4, 5, slow down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Weights down, and we're gonna go a little bit into booty, and then a little bit into somatic yoga. I want to keep it short. Long intro, but the class should be the classic coffee cup length. I called it a yoga workout, so I'll give you some somatic yoga, but it is a workout. All right, so onto all fours, you're gonna lift your knees and engage your core, and you're gonna do fire hydrants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, channel your inner male dog. right, next we will not be peeing on fire hydrants, but it still will be challenging. Lift your knees and we're gonna do one side, left leg up, 1, heel up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, change, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, a little bit of cardio. I just must. And we're gonna go into a squat hop to cross back lunges. Squat hop, cross back lunges. Squat hop, cross back lunges. Squat hop. Last one. And lower your knee on one side, extending through your hip flexor. So that is a mobility that also challenges your quads on fire. And squat to one side, squat to the other. Now skip this if you have knee issues, but if you're good with mobility work, squat side to side. Now we're going to squat and stretch. Squat and stretch. Squat. This is functional flexibility. It involves the joints, so we're not stretching in static. All right, from here we're going to take a narrow squat and move side to side. One knee down, one knee out. Lots of mobility here. All right, squat onto your heels, drop the heels, hold on to something if you need to. This should not bother your joints. If it does, just do wall squat until your structure builds. All right, let's drop. Dropping the knees onto the heels, onto the tippy toes, onto the knees. Reach forward into down dog. Take the right leg up, step it through, warrior two. And reach back. And side angle. And opposite side. Warrior two, just change your feet position. And reverse it. And side angle. And wide-legged forward fold. And sit down. We're going to bring one foot on the inside. Forward fold. You can always use here a block for the forward folds to layer. I used to do this a lot in the PT classes, vinyasa classes. Forehead onto a surface. It's magic for the parasympathetic system. Parasympathetic system is where you heal. If you're always in fight or flight, there's no time for rest, digest, detox, heal, recover, and also heal trauma, process trauma, emotionally, physically. So this is a very good pose. Forward, fold, forehead. You can put it on the floor too, or on your shin bone, but here it's very flat, so it can work for most of you. Opposite side. Let's do lotus, half lotus, sorry. Forward fold, again, you can use your block or your fists. If this bothers you, previous pose, just repeat the previous pose, deepen it. Opposite side. Engage the extended side foot. Double lotus. And you can do a fold forward. If double lotus bothers you, the previous pose, foot to the inner thigh, or Sukhasana, easy pose. All right, time for a little bit of twists. We need them. Left knee down. Right knee up, left arm, lengthen, twist, look behind, lengthen again, from the bottom of the tailbone into the crown of the head. Feel that length, unwinding yourself. And let's bring that left knee over the right, flex your feet. Same thing with the block if you want to. It's very optional but helpful. Time to swap sides. Right knee down, left knee up, right arm lifts and twists and lengthen. And fold. Freedom, which is one of the major themes for Aries, is something that you first have to embody within. It will never materialize for us fully until we within ourselves, I think through heart connection, experience it. So it's something that now the theme, the energy is very supportive of. Instead of going into aggressive action externally, to fully understand freedom within is really important. I think the most enlightened side of Aries can be acknowledging the right to exist in every being. There is a profound morality in the pure expression of Aries. So we can fully understand freedom as a birthright within. I don't think going into aggression, sometimes delusory aggression, will get us where we want to go. We first have to fully embody it within in order to see a higher manifestation of it externally. We might be a few thousand years out before we see. But you are laying the foundations. You're laying the foundations. Your contribution is important. Very important. All right, shall we do, if you feel like single leg pigeon, do single leg or double. And feel that juicy, fantastic freedom stretch through your body. The freedom in your hips, the freedom in your tailbone, the freedom in the spine. So feel internal liberation on a somatic level. Physically experience freedom. Aries, another beautiful side of Aries is innocence. The negative is childishness. So innocence is profound, it's beautiful. It's the newborn innocence. We are having the new year. This is the Earth's new year. Earth is starting the new year in spring. With this eclipse in Aries, it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic opportunity. Change sides. To really internally process a new beginning. Something beautiful. A way you can serve. A way you can actualize yourself. Self-actualization, again, can be an Aries quality. Aries is beautiful in the sense of working within yourself. That is, in essence, the Christ state path. It's the work within. So because Aries is so individualized, we're not talking here community. You're not dependent on what other people are going to do for you to be able to do it. You show up and personally show personal responsibility of what you can do. And there's no excuses. Oh, but the other people didn't do it. Oh, but my group was shabby. My society is... No, this is your personal responsibility, and there is absolutely no other people, no partners, no community, no group that is responsible for your personal awakening and actualization. It's beautiful. I mean, I live and breathe Aries in 12th house. So the spiritual side of Aries is my forte. I can write a lot of books on that. But really contemplate it when you're falling asleep, when you're waking up. If you wake up in the middle of the night, ask a question, an honest question from your heart, and let the answer flow in, sometimes not in words. You will sometimes know it on a visceral level. It's really profound time right now to be here, to be alive. Use it, trust the process. Connect. Ask for guidance, to be of service, to be on our awakening path. We can be today on our awakening path, but tomorrow we have to pray for the same again, so we're on awakening path again tomorrow. We're not guaranteed anything just because one time we felt like we connected. So it's a process. We're committed to the long-term process. Aries is very short-term energy, but we're committed to the long process of unfolding. All right, let's lay down. Shake your legs and lay down. Speaking of actualization, I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of pelvic tilts because I want you to feel your gut. Feel what's the fire burning in your belly. What's your gut feeling? Mula bandha lifting the fascia. So there is a whole network of nice watery fascia in the abdominal wall, especially, I mean, in the lower belly, but not especially in all the belly. So feel that fascia. Water is very intelligent. Obviously, it's the intelligence of water. I think, as I said in the beginning, the soul of God. It's an expression, it's a side of the divine. All water is interconnected. Water in your body, water, the eternal water, the ocean water, the primal water, the ocean of consciousness. All right, here we are going to do heel glides, 3 on each side, right? Heel glides, and you're really feeling that lower belly. Try not to tilt your hips, change. And let's draw circles with the toes in the air. Really feel your core. This is a somatic exercise. Lower back on the floor. You really have to connect in a somatic way to your lower belly here. All right, a non-somatic will be a variety of bicycle. Reach forward and bicycle your legs. It's still somatic, but here this is an exercise too, more classic. All right, from here we're gonna start with toe dips. Alternating toe dips. 1, 2, 9, 10. Great. Twist. And twist. I managed to keep that head the entire class. How about that? And plough. And lower down. Happy baby. Whew. And lay down. And lay for a few moments. Let's see. You can use your block if you want to for a little bit of a back bend. Either block underneath your tailbone or block underneath between your shoulder blades. Lay here for a few moments, allowing freedom to move through your body. Freedom is, there is a famous quote, it has to be earned, it's never granted, but that is very true for the body. We have to really feel it, really create it. The body can easily accumulate trauma, stress, disease, imbalance. So we have to consciously guide the body as our partner, as our friend, and clear trauma, stress out of the body to create freedom in the body. So you're going to breathe in freedom in the areas that are inviting you right now. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of stagnation, stress, pain, lack of flexibility in certain area of your body. You bring yourself there and breathe in freedom. Exhale dust, murky stuff. And the whole time you do this type of work, I want you to be very connected to the earth mentally and of course physically throughout your day. So you're going to go touch the ground, touch a tree after class, or tomorrow morning if this is evening for you and you're going to bed. But really connect with her. And continue with that freedom breath for a few moments. And allow yourself to flow with love, strength, and ease. Namaste.